Hi Tabish, this is Ms. Vishah Hussain, and I'll be conducting the demo for F4. Now F4 has two variants. There's a global variant, there's English variant. That is the UK law and the global law. Either ways, the syllabus content is not very different. We are looking at the global law right now, but the syllabus content is not very different from English law. Because even in global law, a lot of examples, a lot of case studies, they are according to UK law only. So we have around 13 chapters in this variant and around 14, 15 chapters in UK variant. But the exam format is going to be just the same. I'll show you the exam format. This is how your paper is going to be divided. There's going to be total 2 hours that will be given to you for a 100-mark paper. And the paper is going to be divided among section A and section B. In section A, you will have 25 marks, 25 questions, 2 marks each, which makes it 50 marks in total. And in section A only, there are going to be 20 other questions of 1 mark each. These are going to be MCQs or OTQs, you can say. They are comparatively smaller in length than the multi-task questions. Then in section B, you will have 6 questions of 5 marks each. So it is going to be a total of 30 marks and the whole paper will make 100 marks. Now, since you are given 2 hours of time, this means you will be given in total 120 minutes. And 120 minutes means that you will have to allocate your time in such a manner that you will have to allocate 1.2 minutes per mark. You will have to achieve a single mark within 1.2 minutes. Otherwise, you will not be able to complete your question. However, this is not something that uh, needs to be stressed about or something. We are going to discuss all of the concepts in great detail. We discuss the cases in great detail. And then we are going to move towards kit questions as well. We'll do the kits. We are going to discuss the articles, the technical articles in great detail in order to make sure you understand what the examiner is asking you for. Because a lot of students are not able to understand what the examiner is really asking for and they answer otherwise, which leads to a lag and they are not able to achieve the marks. Also, F4 is very much about rote learning and about learning the laws. So, some students who are good at rote learning, they're able to learn it and then apply it in the paper. Other students need an understanding. So, we are going to build that understanding during the class as well. You will have access to my WhatsApp and you can message me whenever you feel that there is a confusion and you're not able to ask me during the class, then you can ask me over WhatsApp. But what I tell my students is that they need to make sure that their concepts are clear. If your concepts are not clear, F4 is one of those papers in which the examiner is going to twist and turn the question in such a way that the options that he gives you, you'll think that most of the options are correct, whereas there's only going to be one option that is going to be correct. And you might not be able to choose that correct answer. The reason is that you have not built up your knowledge and you have not built up your application skills. If you have knowledge, you need to make sure you need to focus on application skills. If you do not have knowledge, then that is also another big problem. Are we clear? Any questions?
No, ma'am. Just one thing. Uh,
Yeah,
ma'am, the topics in the global variant and UK variant are different, or they are the same?
very much similar.
The number of topics are same as well.
Then the number of topics are not same. The number of topics are, I think there are, as far as I remember, there are 15 chapters in um, English variant, and
Okay.
there are 13 chapters in this variant. So there's only
Okay.
another additional two chapters. But
Okay. Okay. Fine.
global variant covers a bit of a vast area. English law covers only UK law.
Okay. Fine. Fine. Thank you.
So, which one are you planning to appear for?
Actually, I am planning to appear for a global one.
All right, all right. So, let's move on towards discussing the concept. I'll just teach a smaller concept today.
Yes, ma'am.
And then, if you plan on signing up for the course, then we'll continue.
Okay. Fine.
So, the chapter one is essential elements of legal systems. In this, what we are going to discuss is that how does the relationship between economic, political, and legal systems influence people and their relationships with each other and their contracts with each other. So, we know that law is something that is made by the governments of each and every economy, and everybody needs to abide by them because law tells us how to behave. Now, a law influences our behavior. It tells us what to do and what not to do, and without that we will not be able to act right. Law tells us what does not need to be done, and if we do that, then that results in a penalty or results in a punish or any compensation that you need to pay. Okay,
Yeah.
so economic systems, there are three types of economic systems in the world. So your economy could be a planned economy, my economy could be a market economy, some other economy could be a mixed economy, but I'll explain what that is. The three main types of economic systems include planned, market, and mixed, that is for sure. Planned means that you're only going to get involved with private individual and only the businesses will be run by the private individuals only. There is no government involvement in my bad, coming again. I thought I was talking about market, my bad. Planned is something that includes only government involvement. Market is one of those economic systems where there's only private individuals that are going to work. Okay, there's no public business in a planned economy, and there's no private business in a uh, planned economy. Okay. In a
Oh,
market economy, there's only going to be private individuals who set their businesses. For example, if you are running your business, then in a market economy, you get to decide how to run your business. You get to decide who are you going to focus on while providing the products or the services, which resources are you going to use. All of this will be decided by you in a market economy. There's no government involvement. But in a planned economy, there's only going to be government. Every business is going to be run by public sector. So the government decides which resources to use, which resources not to use, what prices to charge, what prices not to charge, who to target. All of this is decided by the government in a planned economy. And market economy is the other extreme where everything is decided by private individuals. Mixed economy is the mixture of two of them, both the planned and market. They both are two extreme ends, and mixed is something that involves planned, that is government involvement, as well as private individuals involvement. Now, that depends on the economy itself, how much involvement is allowed by the government and how much of the private individuals are being involved. For example, there could be some some countries where they have 50-50 involvement. So this is going to be public sector 50%, this is going to be private sector 50%. Whereas in some economies, what could happen is that it could be 60-40, 60 public and 40 private. In some countries, it could be 40-60, and so on and so forth. Every country will have a different percentage of involvement in mixed. But in market, it is going to be entirely private individuals. In plan, it is going to be entirely the government, which in real life does not really exist. It really exists. A market economy does not exist, but a planned economy did exist. North Korea would be a good example for a planned economy. Are you clear? Or any confusion?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, political systems. Political systems are going to help you manage the country. So, in a political system, there could be democracy, there could be dictatorship. Dictatorship is when um, there's a lot of rules and regulations that are followed by the people living in the country. They are not allowed to move freely, they are not allowed to do whatever they want freely. But in democracy, this is not the case. In democracy, there are legal systems, yes. They do exist within the economy, yes. But they do not restrict the people from living freely. But in a dictatorship, it is the other way around. People cannot move freely. They cannot live the way they want to. Okay. Now, legal systems, law is the body of rules that exists in a society under which its members operate, which I previously even told you that law tells you how to behave. And if this did not exist in a society, we humans would become animals. We need law in order to keep ourselves in a civilized manner. Because despite the law, there's a lot of crime rate. So we can't even imagine a life without law. Okay. Law tells you how to behave, law tells you how to deal with people, law tells you how to deal in personal relationships, in private contracts, in public contracts. Um, Law tells you in what way to, dump the waste for a business. This is what law tells. For a corporate law, this is what is mentioning. That how do you need to dispose of your company's waste? um, to what extent can you damage the environment, and after that extent, if you uh, are still damaging the environment, then what consequences will you have to bear? Okay. So there are three broad types of legal systems which operate in the world: common law, civil law, and Sharia law. Common law is the law that is mostly applied in UK and USA. Civil law is the law that is applied in different European countries. Sharia law is specially applied in Islamic countries. We are going to discuss all of them in great detail. All common law, civil law, Sharia law, all three of them will be discussed in a great detail. Each of them has a um, detailed note and a detailed chapter for them. So tell me about it. Are we clear up till now? Couple AS and Davish.
Yes, ma'am. For me, it's clear, very much clear.
Okay, do you have any confusions or any queries?
Not yet. And can you
Okay.
please just give me example of common law and civil law?
Common law and civil law. Yes, I could give you an example. Just a minute. Let me check the chat first. Okay, couple says all is great. AS. I don't know what's the name. But do you have any confusions? Okay, no response. So, common law is basically the law that is made by the judges as they deal with the cases. For example, if something just occurred, a new kind of crime just occurred, for example, people did not know that there could be, let's say, crime in such a way that people could rob the house. For example, this happened for the very first time in the history. So there would be no law that would have been dealing with this, right? Now, since this scenario never happened, which is why the law was never made, now the first case has just occurred. Whoever is going to take this case to the court, and whichever judge is going to deal with this case, he will have to make some ruling, some law against this, against such a case. Okay, and this will be um, defined as a common law, because a ruling or a legal law or any legislature or statute was never made for such a case before, and now a judge has to present a law or has to make a ruling for this case. This becomes a common law, and later on this will be followed as an example or as a ruling that has been given by a higher judge already. So this becomes the law, and everybody later on is going to use this law only to deal with such cases. Are you clear, Tavish?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, civil law tells you how to behave with people. For example, if I um, am talking to you and you just hold my head and you bang it on the wall out of nowhere, even though I've done nothing to you, this will become a civil law case. Why? Because you did not behave well with me. So, civil law deals with all those issues that are related to people not behaving with each other properly, could involve cases of marriages, the divorce, and all, could involve cases of corporation, could involve cases of injury, could involve murder, theft, drunken driving. All of these come under civil law. Okay. Are you clear? And the Sharia law relates to the Islamic law that is applied in all Islamic countries. These are imposed by the authorities. All those who have the authority to impose the law um, are going to use the book, the Holy Quran that the Muslims follow, and the Sunnah. That is the example of the Prophet Muhammad. So The Sharia law is made by these two sources, and all Islamic countries follow that, be it Pakistan, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, etc. Are you clear? AS, Kapil, and Sabish. I'll just go through the format once again for those who join in late. Um, this is your exam format. Your paper will be divided into two sections. Section A will have 25 questions of 2 marks and 20 questions of 1 mark. Section B will have 6 questions of 5 marks. So in total, this becomes 100-mark paper, and total time that will be given to you is 2 hours, which means 120 minutes. So you need to make sure you utilize your time in such a way that you allocate 1.2 minutes for every mark. Okay. We are going to discuss the concepts during the class in great detail. We are going to do the practice of the kit questions. We are going to go through the technical articles, and we are going to take some mock exams as well, so that you guys are well prepared before you actually go and give your exam in the center. Also, your F4 paper is a on-demand CBE paper, computer-based examination, but on demand. You can give it any month. It is not like F5 to F9 where you have to wait for another 3 months and then you can give your exam. No, you can give it any month. As soon as you're prepared, you can go and give your paper. Are we clear? Book reading is very essential. Without book reading, there's a very high chance you will not be able to pass the paper. So we are also going to study from the book only. So it would become very easy for you to read the book side by side because I'll be explaining things from the book only. Are we clear? Also, my notes will be given to you. You can learn from my notes if you want, because book reading is essential, yes, but you cannot learn each and everything from the book. There's a lot of things that you do not need to learn. So this becomes very unnecessary if you start learning it from the book. If everything's clear, please give a thumbs up. And if you guys are fine with it, we are going to stop right here. I'm going to share Mr. Shubham's number to you. He is in the admin department. If you want to register for the classes, you can contact him and he is going to register you for the F4 classes. You will have access to my WhatsApp as well. Yes,
Ma'am, we are going to use Kaplan or BPP?
we'll use Kaplan,
Kaplan. Okay, fine.
but we'll be doing practices from both BPP and Kaplan when we
Okay,
do the
fine.
kits.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. So you guys note down the number, and then if you register, we'll speak then. Take care. Have a great day. Bye bye. You're welcome, Tabish.